And Ken said, I'm not leaving here with that car today. One way or another, you're taking that car. So we had this customer by the name of Ken, and this was in Bellevue. And Ken was a really, really good customer. He loved AMG cars. Had all the AMG cars that he could, the high end, nothing like an SLK. He wouldn't do that. He would always be S55s and that type of thing. And he had E55 sedan. And, he shows up one day at the office. He comes in my office. He's got this 12 by 12 box. And he says, Terry, I bet you've never seen anything like this before. And I go, what is it, Ken? He says, go ahead and open it up. So I open it up, and it's AMG, and with a letter. And there's paint samples, and there's upholstery samples. And I'm going, what's going on, Ken? I mean, now, normally you would think that the dealer would get these items, not a customer. Well, Ken was very well known to AMG, and he had bought a lot of cars. And you got to remember, this is like 2004-ish, and it's not like it is today. You didn't have to prove to a manufacturer that you had bought this car, so I deserve to have this car. But somehow Mercedes-Benz knew that Ken had these cars, and he'd bought these, plus he had other cars. And the interesting thing about this was that every one of his cars were blue. He told me that when he bought his Ferrari, he wanted it blue. He wanted it navy blue leather with white pinstriping. Flew to Italy to make sure it was going to be built that way. And sure enough, when he got the car, it was navy blue, but it was navy blue with white upholstery and blue pinstriping. But everything he had, his S55, all his cars, they were AMG. And they were all blue. This box is there, and there's a letter, and it's inviting him to be one of the very first customers to order the brand new AMG E55 station wagon. And I was like dumbfounded. We had always hoped that AMG would make a wagon like they did in Europe and bring them over. We were hoping for the C-Class wagon as well, which never materialized here in the United States. But here was an offering for him to be the first one. All he had to do was to choose his dealer, take this box in, and here's the code that the dealer would call and tell the rep, okay, here's your order, and that type of thing. So he says, you're my dealer, I want you to order the car for me. And of course, we ordered it in blue. He was a great customer. He's since passed on, but he had, every 2 years, he'd come in and order another AMG station wagon in blue all the way up through the E63 series till about 2016 when he passed away. But right after September 11th, something happened. He had previously ordered a Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible, and he was so proud of this car. Now again, Rolls-Royces were still kind of not a big thing in the Pacific Northwest, not like they are in like Palm Beach or Beverly Hills, that type of area, or some of the other more expensive areas are not really seen a lot. And when he got the car, he was so proud of it. He came over to the dealership and he said, come on, we're going to go to lunch. Grab Doug, which was his salesman, of course, and we're going to go to lunch. So he took us all out for a nice Italian lunch and brought us back to the dealership. And he was really, really proud of that. But then September 11th happened. And he comes in about a week after September 11th. And he drives in the Rolls. And he parks and he comes in. He says, Terry, I need to talk to you. He says, can I close the door? Sure, Ken, have a seat. What's wrong? He says, I just can't live. I just can't live with this car. I feel so devastated by what happened on September 11th. I don't know what to do. I have this car I've worked my entire life for, and I just can't live with owning this car. I need to get rid of it. I said, really, Ken? He says, well, you guys buy it from me? And I said, well, we're a Benz dealer. We're not really in the Rolls-Royce business, but let's have a seat. Let's make a phone call and call the local dealer and see what he says. So he sits down and put him on the speakerphone and call the dealer over there in Bellevue. And he says, well, Terry, the owner said, considering world conditions after September 11th, we're really not buying anything. I said, really? And he says, yeah. He says, for any price? He says, nope, there's a hold on all purchases. Okay, well, what do you suggest? And he says, well, write down these people's name and phone number. So we do. And the whole time I've got this guy on speaker so Ken can see what's happening. I didn't want to take advantage of Ken. He was a great customer. I wanted to help him out. And he had almost tears in his eyes talking about September 11th. So we looked at the list and we started calling. We started on the East Coast because we're on the West Coast in Bellevue. Time-wise, it was essential to get this. And Ken said, I'm not leaving here with that car today. One way or another, you're taking that car. And I said, okay, Ken. I said, let's start making some phone calls. So we start calling dealers in Florida, and Washington, D.C., Virginia, New York. Nobody's buying cars. We keep getting referrals. So we start in the Midwest now. We're talking Texas. We're talking Louisiana. We're talking Arkansas. We're talking all over the place. And they're, no. Well, then we hit the West Coast. Now, and pretty soon we begin to figure out there's one name that keeps coming up all the time. And apparently I put together that this one company, whoever owned it, had multiple Rolls-Royce dealerships in their fold. And they had one guy who was the buyer for all of them. He controlled the buying for the entire United States for used Rolls-Royces. You had to go through him. So we're trying to track this guy down, and we leave messages for him. And finally, he calls us back. Now, Ken's gone to lunch, come back. I've done some other work. We're waiting, and he's sitting in my office, and we're just shooting this, the stuff there, and the phone rings, and it's the guy. Put it on speaker, and I say, I've got the owner right here. He's ready to sell the car. Are you a buyer? Yes, I am. And he names his price, and Ken looks at me, and he goes, I said, great. You're a buyer then. Let's sit down. Let's talk about this. Let me get all your information. What dealership is buying it? So he tells me the name of the dealership because he's got multiple dealerships. And I said, well, we're only going to accept a wire transfer on this. No cashier's checks, no company checks. We got to have a wire transfer on this. You okay with that? And he says, yeah, we're okay. So I give him the wire transfer information to Ken's account and all that stuff. And Ken says, great. Thank you very much. Called his wife. Wife comes and picks him up, left the car there, donated all the proceeds to the policemen and firemen in New York from the sale of that car. He just couldn't live with himself owning that pricey of a car after that terrible disaster.
When you get a ticket, it might look something like this, but the first thing that you need to do is take a picture of that ticket and send it to 305-305. That will get the ticket clinic on your case immediately. They've got brick and mortar offices in Georgia, Florida, and California, but they can help you find a ticket no matter where you get it in the United States by helping you find a local attorney that will do everything they can to help you avoid costly fines, insurance premium increases, points on your license, risk of suspension, even jail time. They've helped me out with this ticket and many others, and a lot of my friends as well. So check them out now at the link in the description below, or again, text your ticket to 305-305 to get the ticket clinic on your case. They are the perfect partner in your fight against any speeding ticket.